Hi everyone, good day. So we are the Group 5 reporter and our topic for today is Merrill's principle of instruction. So we have our objectives. Students will be able to know about Merrill's principle of instruction, understand the different phases of each principle, know how to apply the principles in the teaching learning process, be aware of the weaknesses and strengths of this instructional design. So let me introduce you. Our instructor, David Merrill, or Mariner David Merrill, is an education researcher specializing in instructional design and technology. So let me read. The first principle of instruction is an instructional theory that takes into consideration many instructional theories and models. It includes a set of interrelated principle, task, problem, entered activation, demonstration, application, and integration. This principle can help instructional designer develop instructional materials that can enhance the instructional and learning process. It is a task-centered instructional theory and as such emphasis is placed on the use of real-world problems or tasks in the instructional process. So, everyone, this theory can give us the background to solve our real life problem, and it can help us to solve our real life problem. And it includes interrelated principle, task principle, centered activation, demonstration, application, and integration. So we have the five principles here: problem centered, activation, demonstration, application, and integration. So in problem-centered, this is the outline. Learners are engaged in solving real-world problems. And activation, existing knowledge is activate as a foundation for new knowledge. Demonstration, new knowledge is demonstrated to the learners. Application, new knowledge is applied by the learner. And integration, new knowledge is integrated into the learner's world. So we have problem solving. A problem-centered learning strategy involves presenting learners with a series of increasingly difficult problems where the teaching of component skills is distributed across the problem progression. This approach provides learners with frequent feedback which they can use to improve their work. It also teaches component skills in the context of a progression of problems with different component skills distributed across the problem. So this strategy helps learners to develop their skill. So by answering their problems and through it they can enhance their ability through asking questions to their teacher and the problem itself distribute by the teacher and they will find out what really comes out of this solution. In that way, they begin to think, so they start to develop. So we have here the advantages. A problem-centered learning strategy has several advantages over the more traditional topic-based sequence as it. So first, we have helps learner to see the relationship between skills. So while solving the problem, they can recognize their skills on how they can reconnect with the problem. And for next, demonstrate the component skills in the context of different problems. So you will explain, or the teacher will explain the different skills for you to be able to use it in different problems. So third, in this situation, uh, in this situation, the learners can apply their skills to solve their problem. So you can read there, guys, that it provides multiple opportunities for learners to apply component skills. So for the fourth, it provides multiple opportunities for learners to receive feedback on their application of the component skill. So the teacher will provide feedback of what is the inquiry of the learner. In that way, they can be developed. And for the fifth, provide an opportunity for learners to revise their work. So yes, it is very essential that the that the learners itself will review their work so that the solution or the problem is clarified. And for the last, problem solving events. So it gives us the opportunity to solve our problems like real life problems and mathematics problems or any problems that you have. So this this is one of the opportunities so that we can learn and we can enhance our basic skills. Okay, we have here the three phases. Show task. Provide a work example of the task that learners will complete. So our teacher, yes, our teacher will give us a task that we can complete this task, but this task will begin with basic tasks before becoming difficult. So task level ensure learners are engaged at the problem and task levels as well as the operation or action. So the teacher itself will give problem to their learners so that they will be engaged and yeah, they can complete their task as well as their operation or action level. So we have problem progression. Begin with a basic problem, then build the complexity to scaffold learning. So yes, the teacher will give you a problem. Basically, he or she will start at the beginning, right, before becoming difficult, so that the learners can follow up difficult problem.
So, the second principle is activation. Learning is promoted when learners activate a mental model of their prior knowledge as a foundation for new skills. A frequently cited axiom of education is to start where the learner is. Activation is the principle that attempts to activate a relevant mental model already acquired by the learner in order to assist him or her to adapt this mental model to the new skills to be acquired. So, activation is one of the methods that teachers use nga useful jud ni siya nga method nga ang mga teachers ilahan ni siyang ma-apply so that students can better understand or acquire the new skills or the new lessons that is the nga gipresent sa teachers. So when you say mental model, it doesn't mean nga kanang ang mga estudyante maka-memorize jud or maka-recall jud sa tanang meaning sa ilahang mga past nga lessons. Mental model is like a way nga makabalo sila or like maka familiarize sila sa mga lessons nga ay kani nga lessons ay kani nga discussion mo day meaning ani, this is how it works. So basically like makahinumdum na sila sa mga relevant ra nga mga information dili jud tanan. So by activating the learners prior or past knowledge, this will help them and assist them in acquiring a new skill or a new knowledge nga gi-present sa teachers. So, nga ani three phases. Number one is previous experience. Tap into learners' existing knowledge and experiences. So as teachers, before ka mo present sa bagong lesson or bagong discussion, you will ask your students first if naana ba sila past experiences or mga ideas about ani nga discussion, about ani particular nga lesson nga iyahang gi-present. Pwede pod ang mga teachers mo hatag og mga suggestions, mga hints, so that ang mga students ma-activate ilahang prior knowledge, like ilahang ma-recall, makahinumdum sila sa ilahang mga past experiences. Mao na po'y kuan nila ng help them nga dali na lang nilang masabtan or dali na lang nilang ma-connect or malink ang prior knowledge nila sa bagong knowledge na pod nga ilahang ma-acquire. So, new experience. Ensure tasks are engaging, interesting, and authentic. So, when the students have already recall their knowledge, their prior knowledge, teachers should ensure nga kanang tasks nga ilahang gi-present sa students engaging, interesting, and authentic. Engaging like kanang make sure jud nila nga ang mga students nila maka-participate, makasabot dayon, ma-enjoy sila sa tasks nga iyang gihatag. Interesting, which means dili boring nga kanang maka-attract sa attention o makapukaw sa interest sa mga estudyante, and authentic. The task should be kanang original, new, and creative. Then structure, begin with a basic problem, then build the complexity to scaffold learning. So, when you say scaffold learning, kanang may mo siyang murag guidance ba sa mga students in acquiring a new skill or a new knowledge. So, magsugod sa og hatag og basic ra nga mga problem so that students can be able to solve it and kanang find solution to it more easily. Then as the students solve this basic problem, then imo na pong i-difficult, imo na pong kanang mas palisod-lisodan ang ang problem nga imuhang gihatag sa gi-present sa imong students. So as the problem progresses, as magka-difficult, magkalisod ang problem, ang imo pong students makaapas, like ang mga students magsugod siya sa pinakauna, then magkalisod. Pero na-guide pud sila kay wala man nadiktag lisod dayon, wala ba sa nadikta og difficult og complex nga problems. Kasugod man siya sa gamay nga level, then nagkataas. So mao na siya ang scaffolding learning so that students can have proper guidance in acquiring their new knowledge. Tapos, third is demonstration. Learning is promoted when learners observe a demonstration of the skills to be learned. Carefully avoided the word presentation for this principle. Much instruction consists largely or entirely of presentation. What is often missing is demonstration. Show me. Hence, the demonstration is principle is best implemented by tell and show. Learning events where appropriate information is accompanied by appropriate example. So, in demonstration, dili lang siya kanang mga teachers kahit in a traditional way ang mga teachers kay mo present ra sila og information ana nga particular topic by just saying, telling, and explaining without demonstrating it, like mo gistorya ra niya ang information nga wala joy saktong presentation, nga wala kabalo ang mga students nga unsaon ni o in kuan pod in presentation rapod, if presentation rapod ya wala rapod nimo tataga ang explanation. So basically like mulantaw ra, example ang presentation is like mulantaw ra sila og PowerPoint, imo ra siyang palantawon og PowerPoint presentation. Yes, naminaw sila pero wala pud nimo gi-explain. So in demonstration, tell and show jud na, like when you are presenting something, like muhatag kag presentation, magpakita kag presentation sa imong mga students, you are also explaining it. Demonstrating is also pwede pod kanang mo imo silang dalon og usa ka location nga ma-demonstrate nimo nila, mapakita nimo nila kung how this knowledge be applied, how this new skills be applied in real world situation. So dapat imo na siyang tagaan og demonstration, mga actions, mga example so that students can better understand and can acquire this the new knowledge nga imuhang gihatag nila. And when they have this kanang efficient knowledge na kung maka-acquire na sa saktong knowledge, makabalo na sila unsaon nila na pag-apply ng mga lessons imong gihatag nila. Di lang nakat-on sila pero kabalo na sila. And this is important kay instead of memorizing, dali na nilang ma-familiarize. And then these are the three phases. Demonstration consistency, provide content with demonstration and examples that reflect the learning outcome. So, as I've said before, ay kanang previously kaning provide content with demonstration, matag kag content nila nga naga-demonstrate gyud, dili lang information lang nga words, pero naadyoy action, naadyoy murag kanang visual aid, makita nila nga maud di ay ni maud unsa maud di ni pag-apply ingon ani di ay ni. Tapos kanang number 2, learner guidance, provide multiple presentations of ideas, concepts and perspectives. Dili lang usa ka idea pero mohatag jud kag mga daghang examples, mga daghang concepts and perspectives so that students daghan silang like makasabot sila. Di lang mao ni siya o sa kabuok lang imong ihatag nga example o sa kabuok lang nga ideas, mo provide jud kag mga daghan para makabalo pud sila nga ay di lang diri siya ma-apply, daghan pa di ay mas mulawak or mas mo improve pa ba, mas ma-enhance pa ilang pagsabot ana nga lesson. Then 3 is relevant media, ensure media supports effective learning. So kanang when you are demonstrating something, kailangan jud kag media, like using multimedia, whether it be video, radio, or kanang PowerPoint presentation. Kay kanang using software applications manggod diya ka sayon na lang nimo ma-present or ma-demonstrate ang imong mga ideas, ang imuhang discussion sa mga learners. That's all. Application.
So for application. So application is refers to learning is promoted when learners use their newly acquired knowledge and skill to solve new problems or carry out tasks. So in application, the learners will apply their knowledge and skills in performing the activities or tasks given by the teacher. So that's where the learners nga ilahang gamiton ilang knowledge nga para pag-perform o kanang mga task nga gihatag sa mga teacher. So there are 3 phases of applications. First, in practice consistency. Practice consistency. So, it is there the align practice activities with learning outcomes. So, as an educator, to practice consistency, you must be consistent in providing numbers of activities to your student so that the learners will be able to be competent in doing or solving a task using their knowledge. So dapat dili ra kay kausa ra ka mohatag nila og kanang mga activities nga ma-apply ilang knowledge kundi kadaghan jud kay para nga mas ma-familiarize nila ang ilahang ilang knowledge og mas makuha nila og asa unsay mga different scenarios nga pwede nila ma-apply ang ilang knowledge. So mas makapangita sila og mga different scenarios on how to solve or to do their ning the task. So second is diminishing coaching. So as an educator, you should refrain from coaching your students. So from refraining from coaching your students, so the learner could be able to do the task independently and they could also focus more on the task. So if dili ta sige og like sige ta og bantay nila or sige ta ka coach nila is mas makakuan sila og ability nga na maka-work is like independent and kanang mas ma-focus lang attention og para unsaon nila pag-solve or pag-carry out ang task. So third phases is varied problems. So it provides opportunities for learners to apply their learning to different contexts. So dapat ang na from the so from the provided activities dapat different na siya nga problems para or different activities or different problems para nga ang learners is ma maka-think sila og unsaon nila pag-apply ang ilaha nga mga sa ilang nga knowledge sa ug unsaon pag-solve or paghimo ang task. So next, integration. So integration refers to learning is promoted when new knowledge is integrated into the learner's world and they can demonstrate improvement and in their newly acquired skills and modify skills for use in their daily life. So integration, so in integration, the learners must bring or integrate their knowledge in their everyday life. So dapat kung unsa ilang nakatunan sa school or unsa ilang nakuha ng knowledge, dapat ilagi ng dalon sa ilaha nga like everyday life to solve or to do a real problems or para nga makasolve sila problems. The three phases of integration. Watch me first. It provide the opportunities for learners to God, I could dance. Dai, Vanessa, pwede makabasa ka, di na ako maano, Dai, klaro.
Pwede basahon?
Oo.
Provide opportunities for learners to demonstrate and share their learning.
So, in the first phase sa integration is if we integrate our knowledge or we integrate our new knowledge, so ba-share dato da siya sa atoang like sa atong mga balay or ba-demonstrate dato da siya sa mga people around us which is ga maka-acquired po sila og knowledge. So reflection kay Liri Day.
Include reflection activities to recognize progress.
So in doing the reflection activities, so the learner must include there how their knowledge helped them solve their everyday life problems. And in creation,
Encourage learners to transfer their learning to their own lives.
so in creation, so as an educator, you have to make sure nga or to encourage your student or learners nga i-transfer nila na or ila nga ma-apply na ang kanang ilang na learn to resolve or to solve a problems. So that's all, Dai.
Okay, so first for the strength, we have learners engage in real-world scenarios with colleague. Okay, so engage students from the outset of your lesson with an introductory hook. This could be anything that piques interest, establish relevance, or inspires curiosity in the subject of the lesson. For example, a personal anecdote connected to the subject, or a brain teaser or challenge question. For the second one, we have based on experimental or empirical research. Okay, so when you say empirical research, it is a information acquired by observation or experimentation. Scientists record and analyze this data. The process is a central part of scientific method. Okay, so the next one is learners participate in a communities of practice environment. So a community of practice, it is a group of individuals with similar rules and responsibilities coming together to share ideas and best practices. They spend time discussing important topics, asking questions, and sharing answers, moving towards full participation in a community of practice is a matter of transforming one's identity, which subsumes the learning of knowledgeable skill, the construction of new identities through participation, constantly making sense of one's everyday experience. Okay, for the fourth one, we have activates prior relevant knowledge as a foundation for new knowledge. Okay, so activating prior knowledge means both eliciting from students what they already know and building initial knowledge that they need in order to access upcoming content. Okay, for the next one is information is demonstrated to learners. Okay, so the basic aim of demonstration is to create a very strong desire of the mind of prospect and process the learning or the things that we need to learn. Okay, so it is a demonstrate or it is demonstration that has the ability to desire a strong sense of position or possession. Okay, so the next one is hands-on and multimedia may be used. Okay, so multimedia content helps to vary and enhance the learning process that leads to better knowledge retention and also the educational videos can provide more opportunities for students to engage with content. Okay, so video can sometimes demonstrate complex ideas and access other times and places better than speaking can. Okay, so the next one is learners use creativity to problem solve. Okay, so the use of imagination and innovation to find solution to problems when formulatic or conventional process have failed. Despite its rather dry definition, creative problem solving in its application can be a lot of fun for learners and teachers alike. Okay, for the next one is application of information requires learner to utilize information to complete a task or solve a problem in real world scenarios with colleagues. Okay. So the next one is learners integrate new knowledge into everyday activities to develop a lifelong experimental knowledge of problem solving. Okay, so the next one we have the empirical learning. Okay, so when we say empirical learning, it is a based on process of comparing a number of different objects, picking out their common observable characteristics, and based on its formulating a general concept about this class of object. Okay, so the next one is the multiple intelligence are activated during real world activities. Okay, so by applying this theory of multiple intelligence in the classroom, educators take into consideration the different types of learners they might have in their classes. or in their class. Okay, so reinforce all types of intelligence in every student and allow for an individual learning process that will ultimately enable each learners to utilize his or her specific abilities and demonstrate learning by applying. Yeah. Okay, so the next one we have the hands-on. The last one we have the hands-on and multimedia assist to meet universal design for learning goals. Okay, when we say hands-on multimedia assist to learning to meet universal design for our learning goals, teachers or yeah, we teachers should connect or hands on, I mean, yeah, connect ourselves to the different platforms of a multimedia so that we can facilitate the learning needs of our students because it is what we call this uh, it depends on how we treat or how we answer those needs. So in order to get those needs or to meet those needs, we have to search or find new ways in on the internet or on the multimedia so that we can address those needs and yeah focuses the learning process of our students or our learners.
So these are the weaknesses, or let's just say the disadvantages in using this instructional design in the teaching learning process. Number one, design only focus does not describe how learners acquire knowledge. So ang naka-disadvantage ra pod ani nga instructional design is it only focuses more, it centers more on the design itself, like kanang ga focus lang siya on how these principles how these principles works, but it doesn't really give us sufficient or enough information about the process on how learners can acquire knowledge in applying this instructional design. Number two, learners without prior relevant knowledge may require more time and demonstrations to gain new knowledge and acquire skills. So, learners, if wala sila kanang enough knowledge or enough relevant knowledge um in applying basta tawag ini, learners without prior relevant knowledge about the a lesson about how to solve real world problems, dili jud siya makaapa sa discussion. So it as a learner to be able to keep up with the lessons or discussions, or for the learners to be able to be have this enough ability or enough skills in in um in, in acquiring these new skills, kailangan jud siya enough time or more time para maka-prepare siya, para maka-acquire siya sa mga skills nga gipakat-on sa teacher niya. Number three, the instructional design must include real-world applications for demonstration. So, in using this instructional design, kailangan jud ang mga teachers mo kuan ng mo hatag or mo present og real world problems, real life situations eh, in demonstrating. So kailangan jud mo apply ang mga teachers og real world nga situation when when they demonstrate their tasks, or even when they demonstrate a new knowledge, when they explain a new knowledge, so that students can have can gain more knowledge on how to apply this in real life. So as a teacher, kailangan jud ka real world applications, dili lang kay muhatag lang kag information. Ang lastly, the instructional design must have the location, materials, and equipment to demonstrate tasks and solutions to the learner. So, hassle pa kay dagan pa kay kang i-prepare, dagan pa kay kang i-ready when you are using this instructional design sa imuhang teaching and learning process. You need to prepare asa nga location mo, hindi nimo i-demonstrate or kanang diya mahitabo ang real world nga problems. Kailangan jud mag-prepare ka kung asa nga location. Then you need to have enough and sufficient materials and equipment to support this real world problems or tasks nga imong gihatag sa estudyante. So